Hey everyone, welcome to the Sanctum. This is AL, and today we're gonna listen to Shango drink water like there's no tomorrow. Sorry about that, guys. We're also gonna look at the medieval Scapini tarot for today. I've been wanting this deck for a while. It is based upon an actual deck that was missing 15 cards. What I liked about this idea is the fact that since it is actually based upon an actual deck, the idea of actually owning a deck that actually has cards that are available to look at, to study. And then there was only 15 missing, and they were reimagined in the same style, mind you. It kind of was really an interesting conclusion to actually get the deck. These cards are long. So I just wanted to show you, and I love the back. So as you see on the back, that they have that faded look, and they have that nice little matte gold, which I'm gonna be honest, it is like divine. And I'm not a gold fan. I'm actually a very big silver fanatic, but this matte gold finish actually does appeal to me. So we're gonna look at the cards. And what's the nice thing about it is they give you a card that has a picture of an angel on it. And then with the Scapini, it does show you who it was created by. It is a US game systems deck. It's not easy to find this deck when you can find it. And a little card about the artist and creator of the medieval deck itself. What's really nice is the fact that he has done other books in the same style. So him doing this tarot deck was amazing. The other thing that I wanted to show is I'm going to show you some of the cards and show you also how the representations within this deck are similar to what we look at nowadays, but at the same time somewhat different. And the reason why I wanted to show this to you is because of the fact that I'm going to pop my light to be a little bit warmer, be a little less reflective, hopefully. I love it when I can do that. There we go. Like, there's the full. Like I said, it is longer than normal, these cards. I like them though. They do fit in the hand, except when you're shuffling. If you do actually ripple shuffle. The Magician. Which I will admit, that having the Magician shown this way, not with the as of above, so below. Oop, hold on a second, let me get that phone. There we go. As I was saying, the Magician having his instruments out before him and him standing there actually working is actually an interesting concept there. I do like that. Having it be the Popess versus the way we normally see it, where you have the towers black and white. I love that. Now, here's something that I thought was unique when I was actually looking at this one up close. And I don't know if you can tell, but this is the Empress. Now look here at the bottom. Notice the cards that go along the bottom. That's right. Those are tarot cards that go along the bottom. And I thought that was the most intriguing thing when I was looking through this deck. And I was like, well, what'd you know? And then we have the Emperor. And then the Hierophant. Or the Pope, in this case. And the Lovers. Drawn together in love. Now, one thing about the majors is that they are pretty spot on to how we normally consider them. I will tell you, the Wheel of Fortune is absolutely hysterical. It is so medieval. It is amazingly medieval, which I actually like. The And we're joined by the dog. Sit, 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 sit. Hi, how are you? You've come to join in? Lay down. Really? You're gonna lay right there. Shango has joined into the session. God, I love my puppy. I may have to kick your butt, Shango. Hi, nice of you to join. Yes, you're such a good puppy. Force, which is also known as strength, which I thought that was interesting. But, and death, of course, is a skeleton, which I thought was intriguing that he's dancing on a bunch of heads of people that are dying, which I was like, okay. And it is the medieval tradition of how we see death normally, especially during the time of the Black Death, which the original deck was created during the 1500s, so that would have been pretty standard to have seen that kind of creativity. One of the things that I wanted to show you is I wanted to show you some of the actual pips, court cards and the pips. And the reason, really, you're gonna like ruin everything, puppy. Yeah, he doesn't care. Why does he not care? Because he's my dog. And the reason why I wanted to show you these to you, because they are not like the regular Marseille deck, but they do actually have kind of a thing to look. They look like a blend, actually. It's like the King of Swords. You have the Ten of Swords, which have a little bit of symbolism in there. You have the Nine of Swords, which is look at that look on there. Isn't that amazing? You have the Eight of Swords. Now, when I got to the Seven of Swords, I was like, where the heck did this color come from? But you've got to remember, too, medieval times did have a lot of color, even though people wore a lot of darker colors because, you know, bathing was not as big of an issue. Yeah. The Ace, which they just symbolizes that. They didn't put any name on it. It wasn't really known as an ace. It's just like a 1. And then you look at like the Ten of Wands. Now, here's the kicker. When I show you the Ten of Wands, you're gonna go, where the heck are the wands? And I get you because I spent that way. So here's the Ten of Wands. Now I'm gonna bring it up close so you can actually see the actual figures. Yeah, this is the Ten of Wands. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? All right, I see how this is gonna go. And the Nine of Wands is really not much better, but it's interesting because of the way that these are oh, my dog, you're taking over my spot, dude. Like, really, no. For us. And the same thing with the Eight of Wands. So you start seeing how they're all looking at things. Like the Queen of Cups is styled after Aphrodite, the picture of Aphrodite as the Queen of Love. And it's nice because in a way it kind of suits the suit. The Ten of Cups looks like a city that's holding all these cups. Cups overfloweth. And then you have the Eight of Cups with all these people together and inside the vases or cups in different states. And then like the Seven of Cups. So it's interesting how the meaning still translates in the ways that we think, but they're different at the same time. And it was interesting for me, like Pentacles as the king are coins, like they originally were, like the Queen of Coins, which we call now Pentacles. So like the 10 of coins, the castle in the background. I was like, I just like this one because it's got the castle. I'm a castle freak, so yeah. If you got a castle, I'm your fan. I really I am. And then you have the 9 of coins. And what's really cool is I love the fact that they use that kind of gold look to it. So the coins kind of pop off the page. And then you have the worker on the 8 of coins actually working on the coins, which I thought was really neat. And then you have poker playing. I mean, it's actually Taroki playing on the 7 of coins. So this deck is really intriguing. It's not like any other deck I own, which is both good and bad and the same. And you read it, though you can read it like any other tarot deck you have, it does take a little bit more practice to actually, if you read intuitively. And yeah, that's the only way you can riffle shuffle it. Like, seriously, is head to head. And this deck is a little bit thinner, so it is a little more flimsier than some decks I have. But overall, it is quite sturdy to use. Am I going to use it a lot? Possibilities. I mean, this is going to probably be more of a working private deck, kind of like my Spirit Tarot deck, although I probably will use that for certain readings that I do for people here on the channel. This may be that too, but I find that this deck is not like your normal deck. Alright. On the way that you look at stuff. So of course it comes with a little white book. Yay, little white book. And of course it comes with the information within it, with the divinatory meanings and what it looks like and on different stuff. So I just pulled the 3 cards thinking about what this week is going to be like, because I'm going to be honest with you, I am having a heck of a week. Normally I've been struggling with my health lately, and I wanted to know what's coming up this week, because if I need to prepare for it, I need to know it now. So as you know, 8 of Swords, we see somebody within the sword itself, well, the swords themselves, having trouble. Conspirator is being judged by a wigged and robed magistrate. The defendant, pale and fevered, wears black tights and a white shirt and is caged in by the swords, at hilts which are positioned are postilion horns. The judge holds a gavel. Nearby is a table containing surgical instruments, and under the table is a syringe, filled with blood. 2 night birds, 1 male and 1 female, gaze ominously out of the card. That's rude. So basically it's about crisis. It's about imprisonment, turmoil, bad news, sickness. Well, great. So I am sick. Again, I'm going to be suffering this crap for the next few days. It is flu season here in Florida, and I am suffering, and I am not liking it at all. And unfortunately, I've been feeling the effects. I have, I think, a sinus infection, which doesn't help either. And then you have the 9 of Swords, which, if you see here, they are really crossed in a grid. And the veiled figure is seen on the hilt of the swords. On each of these swords, there's a veiled figure. The tomb is a holy and pure hermit monk is seen in the foreground. And on the monk's chest is a lily. Aww. And his arms are crossed on his chest. The sarcophagus is made of the same material, red sandstone, and the Queen of Swords is perched on it. Oh yeah, look at that. What you know? That makes sense. On the side, there are scenes of decay, a strong man oppressing a weak man, the people stricken with plague. On the right of the tomb, a feudal figure crouches, and to the left, a page of swords, now aged and demented, huddles in a knot. It's about concern, quarrel, unhappiness, miscarriage, anxiety over a loved one, worry, despair, and suffering. Ooh, man. I'm getting those chivas. Obviously, this coming week is going to be about some serious issues that we're going to have to deal with. Some crisis, some worry, some pain in my butt. It's going to be. But towards the end, we're going to be looking at some pretty decent stuff. Now, as you see here, we have the Queen. And I'm reading this to you from the book because I wanted to show you what the book says, even though they're so much what we know from tarot, how they're unique. 3 vessels float upon the sea. A galleon, a shell, and a small paper boat with the artist's name. On the shell, in the same position of Botticelli's Venus, a nun stands. She wears gauzy pink veils around her body, and the blue veil around her head is crowned with hearts and a gold band. In her left hand, she holds a large green cup composed of wings and the head of a cherub. Aww. I love it. Some of her long blonde hair has come loose from ruffles in the wind. It's about a warm-hearted and fair person. It's about being beloved, an adored person, a good friend and mother, a devoted wife. It's being honest, loving intelligence, a gift of vision. So, yeah. So when I usually look at cards, from what I know of my decks, and I look at the actual meanings. There we go. Let's look a little bit closer, preferably without Shingo in the side view. We're looking at more of. There we go, puppy. Thank you for being in the way. I love you so much. My dog's like, yeah, anytime. We're looking at the idea here of we're going to be caught up in something of our own making. Sickness, not feeling good. Something we could have prevented had we done, our due diligence of taking care of ourselves. We're looking at the fact that we're going to feel like death. Ooh, boy, we're going to feel like death. We're going to be worried. We're going to feel not quite ourselves in this situation. But in the end, we are going to start feeling better. We're going to probably somebody's going that we know and love, that loves us, that we're good friends with, a family figure, is going to come and mother us to death until we get better. And the reason being is simply because that's their way. That's how they are. And there's nothing wrong with that. And in fact, that's actually a good thing. And what I find interesting about that is the concept of when you read intuitively versus when you read learning the meanings. It's a different ball game with this deck, is that there's a whole different ball of wax when you look at it. When I look and I pull, for example, I'm just going to pull one. I'm going to pull, for example, Justice. Justice is the way. There we go. So when we pull Justice out, we see that justice is all about, being part of balance, being just, doing the fair thing, doing the right thing. But it's also, if you look at the picture here, you'll notice that there's a knight on top in the background. You notice she holds a sword and she holds a balance. So justice can be merciful, but it can also be deadly. Justice is action, it's swift. It means that to do right also means that sometimes you have to harm. You have to sit there and take action, even if it's something that you don't like to do. So in some ways, this deck actually is more like how I am and how I see things than some of the other decks that are out there. So I kind of like it. It's definitely a new look. I like it a lot. So we're going to look at another deck shortly, and That deck is unusual. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. Until next time, Mendithia.